Welcome, guys. The best of the under 90s. I've tried to pick guys that either won their qualifying comp or from, say, Queensland or anything else, because we've had a lot of people drop out for various reasons, but generally there's always a few dropouts. So good job actually competing and sticking with it. I mean, we've still got a couple of weeks you might drop out, so hopefully not. We'll start from the top corner. Pretty much, what's your name? How many years have you been competing in the sport, and where do you train out of? So we can start with Dylan.
All right, so yeah, Dylan Phipps. I've been competing for 2 years, I think, in strongman, and I train out of the strength den in Tassie, in Burnie. I actually do half my training now at home. I've got a little home set up, so
Yeah.
which is good. I like training at home.
Sweet. 2 years. That makes me feel very old. The next oldest person, Carl.
Oof. I have been competing for 15 or 16 years, I reckon. But in the early days, there was very few comps on, and it was a very low level. And then probably more competitively for about 9, I guess. So like Yoda, but like shorter and not quite as green. I train like a gypsy. So I train so I've got a setup at one place. I train in like a horse shed, and then we train at Crossroad in Adelaide a bit, and then down at Donna's place sometimes. So I'm like a little hobo on the streets, getting around to all the bits of equipment.
Just getting to everywhere.
That's it.
Justin?
Yeah, so I'm Justin. I've probably been training about 4 years in strongman now, but really only just breaking into the higher levels this year. I train up at Coco's gym in Queensland and been there for probably just as long as I've been training strongman. Originally went there because I wanted to try out the powerlifting bars and got sucked in.
Yeah, I think you must have started there right as I left.
Yeah, I think you left like right as the pandemic, like right before it came on. And so I'd seen you train a few times there before you headed out.
That's fine. You can just be the 90 that comes in and takes my place. Between you and Nick, anyway.
Yeah, well, his name Shane isn't there anymore, so it's just me and Nick, really.
No, Shane's gone to the bodybuilding realm.
The dark
But
side.
you and Nick could share a title, and then one of you could have the trophy, and one of you get one made and create a new saga. That's an option.
So people haven't been around long enough to understand what happened with that. 2018. So
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can dive into that after. Ant.
Yeah, Anthony. I train out of Coal City, which is right now the Hunter Strength and Performance down in Newcastle. I've been training for just over 2 years now. Not very long, I guess.
And you're also competing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Weighed in, feeling good.
Yeah, weighed in easy. Didn't have to cut, really. I'm still not back to 90, so I am, but not back where I was. Anyways, I didn't have to do anything. I basically weight fell off.
That's good. So you're the only Australian contingent, like 94.
In the 90s, anyways, yeah. There's only like 5 Australians, anyways, all up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. That'll be a fun comp. The event that anybody's looking most forward to or least forward to. And by all means, jump in wherever you want. If anyone's got something off the top of their head.
Well, yeah, at least looking forward to the deadlift, because I can't do one very well at the moment. But even if I could, hearing that these fuckers do 330 raw and stuff, it's like, yeah, thanks, guys. So it'll be cool to watch them pull big and watch me like shake the bar a couple of times before I have a seizure salad.
Well, yeah, like I was saying before, like 3 of you have pulled 300 or more. If Scotty was jumping in and doing the comp, which he recently pulled out, that would have been another 300 plus. And it's 260 for reps. So besides Carl, you guys are going to be doing a lot of reps.
It's going to be cardio, really.
So it should be
just
heavier.
breathing through the thing.
Yeah. Anyone have a goal of what number they want to hit? Anyone want to throw out a number?
I'll just do one more than anyone else.
What's the event before it actually? The flagpole race, I think.
Yeah, that's hard to know who's gonna do well on that.
Yeah.
That's difficult. Probably people that are probably a bit taller might have an advantage. So that'd be me. But
Maybe, but it's a very posterior though. I think you guys with massive deadlifts will do well on it because it's such a posterior lift. The only thing will be is it's heavy
Actually,
and you've done it.
I have played with something similar, not like the actual pole, but it doesn't feel like a deadlift. It feels like a clean, like you're cleaning the weight. It doesn't feel like the initial pull off the ground feels like a deadlift, but as you keep trying to raise the pole, it's like cleaning the bar over and over again, like an ollie clean feeling. Anyways,
But the first pull is massively
the
posterior.
first pull's a deadlift, yeah. First
and then
pull,
if they're heavy and long, it could be rude. And then you
could
back
be-
that up with deadlifts. Good
but
time.
it's
Yeah,
gonna
if
feel different on a big pole, anyways, on the actual event.
Is this you bragging? Is this just when you go to the toilet or something? That it's
Oh,
basically like doing the same thing.
Well, that's what it's going to look like, isn't it? A dick measuring competition. All of us standing with a pole between our legs.
Mine normally involves like a microscope and tweezers, so it's
Oh,
a different sort of thing.
But has anyone else
That's
actually tried prepping for the flagpole race? Because I've seen a couple of people really slip over and eat shit trying to do it with like a
Bryce. Did anyone see Bryce almost die?
oh yeah,
Final Fantasy moment, like it almost landed on his head.
yeah. I was doing it pretty regularly for a while, but then you kind of figure out what to do, and then there's not really anywhere else to go with it.
yeah.
Like there's not really much to it. If you don't know the specifications of how long the pole is, how heavy it's going to be, if we're allowed to grip it wherever we want, or we're only allowed to grip it up to like a certain line. Like the only video I could see online, there was like a line where you couldn't put your hands above it. Like if it's, we don't know any of these rules and specifications, so it's hard to know specifically what technique to use. Whether we're able just to grip down low and pull and pull and pull, or we can grip it a little further up and we're going to have to shuffle the feet as we're pulling, which I preferably not do.
Yeah, and in that video, they're all opens men's who are just either really tall using long technique anyways. None of them are actually very technical on it, so you don't really get an idea of how to do it. You just got to play with it.
Well, didn't you see Tom Stoltman do it? He's
Yes,
not taller than Mong. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, it looks like an event that you could probably go in, you could train really hard for weeks, think you've figured out a technique, and someone will come along that's really strong and just go bang, and you'll go, why'd I bother training it?
Yeah. Or someone will accidentally just like figure it out and they'll just do it right and
Yeah.
they win. Yeah.
Well, I know Justin will be able to answer it, but Coco's, I'm pretty sure, has a very small, light Fingal's finger, like off to the side.
Yeah,
But
they actually
anyone,
just got like a really light one for the women's.
yeah, so that's
So they're playing a bit with that. But the problem is there's no backstop to it. So if you if you try and do it and there's no one behind you, there's a good chance of dropping it on yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing as well. Like if you power up these poles, and is it like hitting into something that like has a latch on it, or is someone there going to hold it? Like what if it bounces and comes back down? Are you meant to like hold it in there, or?
I think it's meant to be like a latch system, which is similar to the Shore Classic, which didn't 100% work either.
It failed, yeah. So as long as we know that if it does fail, it doesn't matter. We can just crack on to the next one, because depending on how heavy it is, the first couple, 2 or 3 could be all about speed.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah,
worry
when that
about
happened before, they used to have it every year at that Ultimate Strongman. It was like the UK's, so it would be the finishing event, and it was quite spectacular because you'd have the flags at the top, and when they're all raised, it looks really cool. And they used it for team events. That one doesn't have the progressive lock-in, so if you were pulling it and then it drops, it falls back to the floor. But once you get to the top, it'll lock in, if that makes sense. Whereas in the past, when they've had like weird ones at World's Strongest Man, like the modified fingers, I think they were called like hammers or something weird, they would lock and then you'd move it further and they'd lock. I don't imagine we're going to have anything that wildly sophisticated. That would change it hugely then, because the technique would be very different to having to keep the tension the whole time.
Yeah, that one will be up in the air, but any other events most looking forward to? I'm guessing 3 of you will say a deadlift.
I'm actually looking forward to the overhead, not the deadlift.
Ooh. Overhead.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the mood. I've just put on weight and they're moving better than they ever have. So I want to see what I can actually do and push. And I want redemption on that stupid anchor yoke. I still hate that thing, but it's moving. So
That's
see what
actually probably the weird thing about this competition for me is that I'm a shit overhead presser, but I've been having a lot of fun training up this medley and actually like putting numbers on my monster dumbbell.
Yeah.
It's like a real change of pace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly the same thing for me. And I want to see what happens in a comp. Like, I'm not the best overhead presser, but everything's moving well. So I want to see what happens on the day. That's why I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yeah.
the deadlift sounds like cardio, and my deadlifts haven't been feeling great. So I'm actually most nervous about that, which is usually one of my better events.
That's more often the case though. Like I probably get more nervous for events that I'm meant to be good at, and events that I know I'm going to be terrible at, I'm in a good mood because I'm like, well, this is going to go terribly.
No standard there.
No one's looking at me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm looking forward to the pressing medley. I want redemption from ASI. I couldn't get that fucking block.
Yep.
That still hurts me. So I really want to do this medley, and I'm really keen on trying out this Anki yoke. I've never actually tried a proper one. Been using the yoke, which is just not quite the same. So I'm interested to see how it goes. So
The normal yoke's way harder. Like the anchor yoke's easy. Just go YOLO.
Anki yoke's easy.
I'm not
Hey.
confident on what you're telling me.
I said you're a good deadlifter before.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I not looking forward to the max log, half because it's the first event. Notoriously, that's not a good event for me. In the first event, it's probably nerves, but because I've had knee issues for so long, I haven't really been able to push the log up. But it's actually been going pretty well. So as long as I can hold mid pack for that one there, that'll do me fine.
Yeah, that one, I have no idea how that's going to go, that max log. I think everyone's going to be somewhat bunched up depending on attempts. It's going to be a lot of strategy, I think, for that.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge,
Yeah, I reckon mid pack will be about 140, 150. Winner's probably going to go like 160 plus.
That's the 105s, right? I'm pretty sure.
I think this will be pretty tight. I think a lot are going to be hitting around that 130-ish mark, and it'll get very congested.
Yeah.
I think 2.5 kilos either way it's going to be big points.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of risks that will or won't pay off. Like you see at competitions, that log seems to be the one that people fuck up the most.
Yeah.
So you just don't know how it's going to go on the day.
And the other thing is too, those that do big weight cuts, often they drop a little bit, and it's the first event, which is sometimes a bit rough, and body weight can help a fair bit on a press. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then the medley is just going to be carnage because it's quite light. It'll be either like risk it for the biscuit, so you'll see some people do some pretty mad shit, I reckon. And because it's going to be quick, I think the timer's going to kick into it a fair bit in the same way as it will for like the Zercher, because I think that's going to fly. Because it's 10 and 10, I think it's going to come down to a stopwatch on some people. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Have you done the medley? Like accurately?
Have I done it?
With the 100 kilo tire?
Oh, not that medley. No, fuck that.
Man, I was going to say, that's not fucking light, man. That's heavy.
That
medley per se, but no, that's a horrible, that carry medley. No, I've done nothing.
Yeah.
That carry
overhead
for the under 90, it's basically the
one,
Australian strongest weights from 5 years ago.
Yeah, that was basically the 2019 ASM, like the timber there. I think the tire's the same. So,
do you reckon
like
though?
How much the level's gone up in 5 years, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it has. Do you reckon you have to load the tire, or do you reckon we're just going to have to chuck the tire over a line?
no.
Yeah, it's over at 1.1, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it said that, but at ASM they didn't load the tire over the thing. They just carried that over a line and they loaded the other objects over a bar. So that would be harder than ASM if that's the case.
ASM got changed around though because it was raining and 12 degrees in Fed Square and everything was very wet and slippery. So I think they adjusted a few of those events accordingly.
Yeah, cool, because it makes more sense for the 90 kilo men to throw it over a 1.1 bar.
I think it's great. I'm not doing the comp, so I'm going to be...
No, that is fair. I might join the commentary team too. I think that sounds terrible.
I had to pick up a tire that big. Like, it's not heavy, but it's just awkward as shit.
Yeah. I've said to a few people about loading it over a bar. I'm like, there's no pretty way. You just throw and hope that your head and your arm doesn't get caught along the way.
That was me last night.
I saw yours.
Yeah, I've seen a few head knocks from people missing that throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been seeing an arm getting caught under the tire between whatever we're throwing it over, or your head even caught somewhere. That's the first
Yeah,
carry.
well, they made the rule that you couldn't Eddie Hall it. So at World's Strongest Man, he went inside it like a rubber ducky and ran it like a farmer's to the line.
I'd rather fucking lose.
I went to then do that. Oh wait, that'll be started. Like, look how cool you look in it. Swimming ring.
No one will be able to look you in the eyes. They'd be like, you won the event, but we don't care.
Yeah.
I want them to look me in the eye whilst I'm running down with the tire waddled around my torso.
Just full hoop up towel on top of the platform.
That's it.
Yeah.
Feed it to me, Daddy. It'll be good. It'll be wonderful.
In terms of like the grip event, the minecart hold, how does everyone feel for that?
I would much rather it was a frame carry like the weekend before. That would be cool.
Don't want to stand there and hold something.
Honestly,
It does look
I think
amazing.
it'd just be about
And
40 kilos heavier, so I don't have to hold it as long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
What's the weight? 220 kilos? Yeah. Be interesting because it's not like holding a deadlift bar. It doesn't spin. It's also painted. And
is it off the floor or is it from a height?
I think they said 11 inches.
Yeah, just
Pretty
shy of a
much
foot.
off the floor.
yeah, so you got to deadlift it, Carl.
Yeah, that's fucking me out, isn't it? Second event, a 0. Deadlift orientated. Seriously, guys, what are you doing?
Whereas, yeah, I think the stones will be an interesting one.
I'm looking forward to stone.
I'm not surprised.
You're looking forward to stones. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Well, we can set a record on stone run, isn't that where it starts?
Yeah, I think you set like a stone series record, yeah.
I want to set that record.
I think it's meant to be the same set of stones every time. I think that was the idea, was similar to like the Giants Live set of stones that they have.
It's very heavy.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy for a stone
180
to 1.3. Yeah, fucking nice.
It's a heavy stone run, especially 2-day event, 8th event.
Are any of you guys going to lift that 180 or don't worry about it?
Don't worry about
I'm
that.
hitting my PB at the end, so we'll see.
What's the max stone you've done?
Lane smack talk. Come on.
So I'll be hitting my PB at the end, so we'll see if I can do it.
Good
At the end of the day comp, so we'll find out.
Yeah,
I reckon you'll have a couple of guys
be awful for us, regardless.
Guaranteed.
There's a couple of guys who can do it.
And I'll try do it. I'll try finish.
Like, I'm not a short guy, but 1.3 is fucking nipple height.
1.3 is comfortable for me. Like, I hate the concept of 1.2.
Yeah,
I don't care. I agree.
So for me, it's about up here somewhere. So it's getting
Yeah, me too, buddy.
When it's 1.2, I get in trouble for throwing it at the person behind the bar. I just keep extending.
But I don't know. I think second day, 8th event, I think 180 is going to be very tough.
Yeah. Depends on conditions too. Like if your tacky's not good, then it's just not gonna come up. Won't happen. Like if it's too hot or it's just when you run out, it won't happen.
Yeah, and you've also got, if everybody turns up, you've got a big amount of people. Like you've got multiple competitors. They're going to have their tacky on it first.
Yeah.
If people
it'll be all about that first fall fast.
Yeah. If people were smart, they just go up to the 180 and they just put grade 1 tacky all over it for you and stitch you up.
No, if I don't get it,
I'll still lift it. Don't matter.
You've ruined the surprise, Lee. I was going to be up first with my massive pot of honey, like Pooh Bear, smearing it all over the stone.
Just sweat all over it. It'll be fine.
That was funny when I think it was who was that? There was an American guy getting mad at Brian. Did you sweat on the stone when he lost a stone off? It'll be like that. I'll be rubbing ballsack and anus all over it.
Dirty tactics come out already. God. And you did this comp last year.
Yeah.
In Toowoomba. Any advice for anybody doing a 2-day comp, 8 events?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't think about it. I didn't realize it was a thing until I was talking to Dylan. He's like, "Oh, I'm a bit worried about a 2-day comp." And I was like, "Oh yeah, people don't normally do that, but I've done that many comps, and I just didn't occur that that was a thing."
Yeah.
Like I have done 3 comps in 2 weeks. Like I have done. I don't know. It just didn't occur that a 2-day comp would affect some people. But I guess it does.
Honestly,
yeah.
the 2 comps, you can just eat into it. It's like you only have to water cut for half of it. The second day, you're well fed.
That is very true. Depends how much you have to cut weight too.
1 or 2 kilos.
Yeah, I think all of you are actually pretty light, right?
Yeah, some of us are really.
Yeah, some are really
Dylan
light.
doesn't. I don't know how Dylan fits into the 90s half the time I see him.
I keep forgetting that he's not a 105, honestly.
Yeah, every time I see him. I remember seeing him in ASI and he's standing on that platform they had. He just had veins bulging out the back of him. It's like, he has to be at 105. Who is this guy?
Mm.
Hands up.
That's just high blood pressure.
Must fit.
That's just 20 years of bodybuilding.
Pays off. Bodybuilding still makes you a bit strong.
A little bit.
Little bit.
No.
Yeah.
So, anyone got any goals, thoughts where they want to end up in the end of the comp, or is everybody just gunning for the win? Obviously.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I'm going to probably win the 90 show. I'm feeling pretty mint. So you boys better watch yourselves, I reckon.
You say that, but you'll still turn up and you'll still compete and you'll still do well.
I'll have a go. But yeah, I'm not in good nick, but I'll have a go. But yeah, no, don't expect anything great, but I'll have a go.
Mm.
I've got to get through the first show the week before.
So you say that every comp though. I'll have a go and ends up doing really
yeah,
well.
and it's true though. And yeah, and in those comps, have I been in bits? Yes. At Worlds, I was lucky enough they let us wear a deadlift suit at least, so I could get the thing off the floor. They've not letting us do that. So, and which doesn't really matter. Like I would lose anyway, but I'd at least get some reps. But I will see if I can get myself fixed up, I'll have a crack. But it'll be cool to watch. I guess there's a lot in this 90s that I have no idea. Like Dylan won the ASI show. Who's been the 90 champ has ever been dethroned. It's like Nah was the initial champ.
Yep.
He wasn't there. Then you won it. You're not fucking there. So there's going to be 3 champions, and no one's ever, usurped the king.
He's not there. He has to have his medal this year to whoever wins. Just come around the next.
It depends if you count Arnold's as being like Australia's strongest under 90. No, you don't count it.
Oh, I count it as a thing, but I guess it's hard to, I don't know. Then, yeah, it's a bit weird and tricky. And then even then, who won the last one? Nah? The last Arnold?
No, 2018. No, won 2019.
That's what I mean. And then that was the last one.
Yep.
So then, so I guess he beat you to take that title, but you've just thrown yourself under the bus, Lee. But anyway, I guess it's just unfortunate that we haven't had all the best ones in the last few years to be able to, take the title of someone.
Yeah. Still, it will happen. I think the more competitive a weight class is, the more it draws more people to it. Like, I think if you have a comp and you put all the best guys and they say yes straight away, everybody else then jumps at it. So I think now that the 90s are actually growing, because even the year Na did it was me, Na, Mark, and one guy.
James. Yeah, James. Yeah.
So we had all these qualifiers, or that year I think everyone got invited. We had 15 people invited and 4 of us turned up. So I think that led to a lot of people not turning up the following year. So
yeah, this year is much, much better. So cool. And then hopefully next year we'll be better again.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can see the excitement for it. Like even at Queensland's, there was like nearly 10 guys there. Like the field is like, people are getting more excited about it.
Yeah. And the 90s just took a really big dip, basically post-COVID and everything like that. It used to be 15 odd people would turn up to an Arnold's comp and anyone in the top 8 could win it. Like depending on. So no, I don't think I'll have FOMO. I'm excited to watch it. Like I'm just as much a fan of watching comps now. I think now that I've done enough, I don't get FOMO over every single one. Like I'm
fair.
watch front and center.
And
But
who's your pick? You're the champ. So you do your predictions of who's your top 3 for the show.
my top 3. God, who's actually doing the show? Who's confirmed?
We don't know. We don't have a lineup yet. So
Yeah.
from the three you imagine if they're there, we'll take the top 3.
Yeah, I actually don't think we have a confirmed lineup, do we? We have the list of people doing it.
Yeah, we have the invites.
I think top 3 are sitting here, to be honest.
Is everyone back on the call? Because at the moment, I don't think you've got it right. Unless is Dylan back?
Can you not see anybody?
Oh, good. Now I'm on my phone, so I can see him now. Good. All right, you might be right then. Just checking. I thought if he's not on the call yet, you might be fucking making stories up about your top 3.
Are you saying Dylan's coming 3rd?
He might get 2nd or 3rd. He'll go all right, I think.
I've never come 2nd or 3rd in a strongman competition, and I don't plan on starting now.
Oh,
Did you hang on? Whoa! Did you just say you've never come 2nd? Like your missus
won.
must be devastated, mate.
She's a very lucky lady, Carl. Okay.
If you're not first to last, Ricky Bobby. All right.
Yeah.
I think like there's a few like in the field that'll probably surprise us, and I think if Mark comes in, he's going to be a strong contender as well.
Yeah,
Mark's all loved up right now. I don't think he's doing anything.
he's not doing the comp, unfortunately.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately,
I had a blast going up against him at Queensland. Like,
yeah, I think there would have been good events for Mark in this mix too. Definitely would have had a good run, I think, at winning. I think like having a big log, having a good overhead, deads are good, grip strength. Yeah, has done a 200 stone. So that's because Dylan's done one. You done a 200 in training?
I did it in competition.
Oh, you did it. Well, yeah. So you've done one. Nah has, Mark has in training, and that's probably the only 390s I think in the world that have done a 200 kilo stone.
Peanut did a 200 stone, didn't he, way back in the day?
Did 190 to 1.3. That was the world record at the time. So, yeah, Peanut, who had the world record at 190 to 1.3, then Nah broke it. And then we've got 2 other Australians that have loaded. I mean, if Dylan's Australian, you never know. Someone's always from somewhere else.
Nah, mate, I am British colonial beta, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think in this country, we've had all the biggest stone loads for the under 90s worldwide.
Well, if you look at the weights for this show, the stone weights versus some of the other event weights, like they're pretty fucking heavy. So I guess, yeah, as a country, the stone is pretty heavy in comparison to like the overheads or whatever.
Yeah, I think us as a country, we were going to shine for something. I think overall, like men and women, stones are up there worldwide, if not better than most countries.
Yeah. OSG, what max stone for 90s is 170, isn't it?
yeah, but it's for like 1 meter or something, isn't it?
No, it's still only dropped to 1.2, I think.
Yeah, 1.2. They dropped it for the 80s men because they're not real men apparently. But yeah, normally it's still a reasonable height. The last platform, that was just
I looked this up the other day. So they have a 6 stone run, starting at like 115 kilos to 170 kilos, and the winner from OSG just gone, I think, was Derek Owens, and he did it in like 49.5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, and usually no one finishes the run. The year before, they had like 7 people vying for first place. One of them finished the stone run.
Which is
they were slippery stones or what?
Well, that day it was different because they also had sandbag to shoulder on the same day as the first event because of hurricanes and stuff. So I guess all of all the stuff probably got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's a heavy stone run in itself. I think OSG is just a very different comp where it's 3 days. It's very slow. It's very drawn out. You've got 40, well, not on the third day. The third day, you've only got 10 people, but you've just got a lot of time waiting between setups and everything that goes. So by the time you get to that stone run, I think people are just cooked and they're starting to really lock up.
Yeah.
Right?
And you haven't touched a stone. So out the back this time, there were sandbags. So you're like murder your biceps picking up sandbags off the floor and then go and do stones with Daki. Like, it's very different. And then you're waiting around the back for a fair while. So, I mean, you might be able to hit that cold, but it's basically like hitting it cold. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the year before it was like rubber stones. Like they weren't very heavy at the back. It was just to give you, because you couldn't put tacky on at the back. They were just using like a rubber stone replica to warm up for that stone run.
But it is what it is. But yeah, it's not as easy. Like everyone watching at home goes, "Oh, fucking, I could do that." And it's like, cool. Most people think they can do that about everything. So yeah, most people run, the 100 meters under 10 seconds. So lots at home watching think they know. But even the athletes, it is very different when you get there. So, but I'm sure there are plenty who could run through it. We will see. Let's see if some of you fuckers get through the 5 stones to 1.3. Ugh.
Yeah. Whereas all the other events are pretty straightforward, I think. I think we've pretty much gone over all the main events. Actually, no, pretty much gone over all of them. What other events were there on day 2?
I'm not sure if that's the confirmed lineup either with the order of events or not. Who knows? But yeah, there's the Zercher we touched on briefly. That'll be a super fast one. There's that loading medley we tried to avoid talking about, but that's gross. We've covered the hold for time. That's going to be amazing to watch. Flags, deadlift, 2 overhead stones. Yeah, we've covered them all.
I wish it was like a farmers instead. That'd be better.
It's not too late to petition. Let's work together, boys. Let's go 280, 300 frame, up and back. That'll be magic. The crowd will love it. And they can just not bother packing up that, massive frame to hold a stick for time. That'll be great.
I feel like there's gonna be some people that can't can't pick up that tire.
Yeah.
I don't. Why are you looking at me like that? Yes, I can't pick that up, or the deadlift bar, or the fucking handle. All right, we get you.
Carl, I'm looking at you all the time, not just now. Okay.
Oh, you're making me feel hot now.
I feel like it's like, unproportionally more difficult than like a tree stump and a 130 sandbag.
Yeah. I think that tire, like all that weight over one side of you, like over your body weight, really throws it out.
Yeah.
The
tire is going to be the hard thing. And if you get through the tire, it's probably going to gas you out so much that the sandbag will start to feel heavy.
Yeah.
I got a secret.
I want to post my medley I did last night.
Heavy to start with.
What were you going to say, Dylan?
I said I'm going to post my medley I did last night now after this.
Ooh.
Change it up.
Now you're getting me super hot. Do it.
Yeah.
I went through man that much fucking round to get a tire. I went to like a mining place to get a tire. It was too heavy, so I was cutting pieces of rubber off it because it was like 120 kilos, and then it still wasn't heavy enough, so I didn't have a knife. So I went to Bunnings and got a big ass knife, and I'm cutting pieces off and fucking sweating bullets. And then there was another tire nearby, and I weighed that, and it was 100 kilos on the dot. I'm like, oh. But now I've got this packed up tire in the gym that I don't need anymore. So yeah.
No.
Anyway.
I made myself look like an idiot. We had a 65 kilo tire, and I loaded up the sandbags with all that weight at the bottom of it. Makes it feel so much harder.
It makes it fucking horrible with the sandbags.
Yeah. It felt horrible. I was like, how the frick am I going to shoulder this?
I like Kyle's approach.
You guys are very good. You're actually training the events. Like, I found a tire at the gym yesterday and thought I should probably try and pick it up. So I did, and I managed to throw it onto my shoulder. And I don't know if your tires are like this. It had a really thin bit of rubber that just bit me really hard. So then I threw it down. I was like, fuck this. That's too hard. And I'm done. So I've done my prep with the tire, and I will leave it with you boys in your actual hardcore training.
Yeah. The timber stump is not heavy, but it is very slippery from memory because it's very like polished up on the outside. So easy, but just super awkward.
Yeah.
That's what we want at shows, though. Like, ideally, we want it doused in like fucking baby oil. So when he goes to the crowd, this is a 45-kilo balloon, and they can't pick it up. It's like, look how strong they are. We're like, oh, make us look amazing. Why not make it really heavy and easy so we look strong?
Why does everything that you want to do be doused in either honey or baby oil?
Yeah.
What I thought that would explain itself. I'm hoping before we start the show, everybody comes out in budgie smugglers and baby oil. So when they do the announcement, we look a little special when we go out, a little bring sexy back. Because I've heard the 90-kilo class is meant to be, good on the eye.
I've never heard that before, so
Okay. Maybe I'm bringing that to the 90s this time around. I don't know, but I think we've got multiple people candidates who can bring it.
No, I think I
He's
look
got the
better.
beard and the look.
Strong.
What's that?
I think I look better as an 80, but I wasn't very strong.
You're not alone there, buddy.
one thing I think will be interesting, it might be different this year, is having the 90s and 105s going at the same comp, where you get to see what 90s can actually keep up or do something better or quicker than some of the 105s.
We did that last year as well. It's the same weight for the dumbbell. The max deadlift was pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple of events that were the same-ish.
Yeah.
Last year.
I think it shows a good step.
I'm going to call it now. I reckon the winner of the 90s would beat the winner of the 105s.
Well, that's a big call.
Well, that's a big call.
I'm rolling with it.
Now we've got to see who wins both and see.
I haven't seen a lot of the 105 class, but there's not a lot of really long-term competitors there. It's a fairly fresh batch.
Yeah. I think most are post 2020, 2021, something like that. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a 9th event then. Have the winner of each battle it out on something.
Baby oil wrestle, maybe, just to keep the theme.
I can see the path that you want this to go down.
Yeah.
No way. I thought I was so
That's
subtle.
his motivation for winning.
Look, we put it on OnlyFans. We get Thomas Wren up there as well, and it can really be a party.
Sounds like a party.
But otherwise, any other thoughts? Anything to add? Any predictions? How are we feeling? No one jump in at once.
Honestly, just excited. It's going to be fun. It's a good group of guys so far that we've got. Let's have fun.
Yeah, I think once people are competing together, years ago, the same 90s would do the same national shows year after year. So it becomes a big catch up and everyone knows each other really well. Hopefully this is the start of that and solidifying a good chunk of 90s that are at the top, and then start looking at going overseas and stuff like that.
It feels like that compared to last year, because last year half of us dropped out before we got to the comp, and then there was 6 of us, and then obviously you and Cam are on a different level to the rest of us. We tried, but we weren't up there with you and Cam. But then this year it feels like we're all around the same level-ish, enough to make it competitive, more than last year. Yeah, which is exciting compared. Yeah, it's a lot more exciting than last year, and I hope it continues on.
Yeah, I think there's a good couple of events that will be a big spanner in the works too. The whole could go anyway. Obviously the person with the best grip is going to win, but it's just a different grip event. Flag raise, very random event. So the best person could just slip over, and someone that's not necessarily the strongest could come out and then just absolutely blitz it.
Yeah, let's go with that one.
Same goes to that tire though. That tire could take someone out right off the first thing. The strong person could be taken out by that tire and then put their arm on underneath it.
It's true. I heard a story that you're all going to be sat down eating lunch, and I'm going to tip the tire, and 6 of you are going out. Who knows? Anything could happen.
I was going to pick it up, put it in shoulder, goes, ouch, that hurts, I'm out.
Yeah, I've got to pick it up first. There's the stumbling block.
Well, who knows? Maybe everyone's not allowed to touch it in warm-ups.
There is that part. Yes, you are part of the team, Lee. You're onto it. You said you're not. We're onto you.
I find that quite interesting because I've had that happen to me at a lot of comps. So I'd just be passing on the bad luck. Where you just
Okay.
I mean, that,
you're not allowed to touch it.
well,
off you-
that seems like something that they might decide to do.
Yeah, I think the flag raise potentially, because I just can't see everyone warming up on a flagpole raise and someone not killing someone else.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a case of you just don't get to touch it and you have to go.
Hmm.
The rest of it should be pretty
Yeah, no.
straightforward.
I mean, I'm keen just to do 2-day events just for the challenge. That'd be very new for me. So just trying to manage fatigue levels and arousal up and down as events go on, things like that.
Hey, check this out for your arousal level.
I think if the events are set up in the order that they're set up in, I think it should be pretty kind for day 2. Last year's there was like a max deadlift for event 1 of day 2, and that was rough to walk in.
Yeah. I'd still prefer max deadlift this comp, but that's all right.
You don't want to rep 260?
Not really, no, it's tiring.
I hope you tire it.
Tiring, I love it.
Okay.
You poor bastards and your cardio. It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
Look, I think if all of you petition, maybe you can do 280 and do the same weight as the 105s.
Done.
I think everyone would be up for
Great.
that.
I don't want to make it look bad.
What's
Keep
that?
the reps below.
I want to make the 105 look bad.
Or we can
I
swap.
actually got in trouble as a loader at the Coco's Beast of Burden show for taking back some of the sandbags that the big boys had loaded.
Yeah.
So
You had plenty of good practice.
can't make it look bad.
Very true. Guys, that's pretty much it. Like, have a bit of a chat, go over anything. Like I said, if there's anything else you want to add, go for it. You want to throw some shade at Carl some more, go for it.
Do it. I'm cooking. I need a little shade. But well done, Lee, for doing the call. It's good. So a little bit of hype about a few. Obviously, it'd be great if we knew who else was in the lineup. I definitely know there's a few other guys, like Riley from here is competing. Taz, he's strong from Vic. I believe he's competing, but
Yeah, Taz is, yeah.
yeah, I'm not 100%. Yeah, so there's some really strong boys, and they'll definitely have some really good events. It would be cool to actually know that stuff, and hopefully the list comes out before the comp. We will see how we go.
So the list I have that is not confirmed is we have everyone that's here. We have Luke, Keegan. I assume he's probably going to do it. Matt, who obviously didn't make the call. Ash Vincent. Then Aiden Westrip, he is doing it. Josh Carell. And yeah, Taz. And that's the whole list. So if all of those guys show up, I think there's like 5 or 6 that have either been injured or pulled out for various reasons. But there should still be, I think, 9, 10 potentially.
Yeah, 10's a good number. Should be good.
I hope this time.
Yeah. You want for a national comp for there to be 10.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's good. Well,
Pleasure. I gotta head off.
Well,
So,
yeah.
see you guys again.
yeah, thanks for your time. And mate, may the best man win. I'll hand you the trophy, whoever it is.
Thank you.
You're a good man. Cheers, boys. We'll see you there.
All right.